the novel The Invisible Man, written by Ralph Ellison, the narrator uses family as his conscience and a guide through his life. The narrator really doesn't talk much of his parents or siblings. The narrator finds himself mainly referring back to his grandfather, especially when things went well for him. All he could remember was his grandfather and feel guilty and uncomfortable. In Chapter 1, the reader learns of the curse that was left behind. I want you to overcome him with yeses. Agree him to death. Let him swallow you till they bust wide open, his grandfather says as he left his last words of advice. In other words, he was forced to play as a slave rather than attempt to form a rebellion or go against of anything the white man said. The Battle Royale is a perfect example of how the narrator followed what his grandfather told him. He literally danced for coins, just as the white man said. He became one of their puppets. The narrator also continues to follow what white men said, even after he takes Mr. Norrin to the Golden Days, only to find out that listening to the white man would actually get him kicked out of college. He didn't realize that always following them would become such a big problem in his life. After all the hardships he had been through following the white man just as his grandfather told him to, he finally realizes that his grandfather had been wrong about yesing them to death and to destruction. It takes the narrator more than half the novel to realize he had been lying to himself. He didn't allow himself to be true to oneself, which is what he wanted. Later at the end of the novel, he fully understands how hard it can be to deny oneself to play another role that one assigns to him. And later he says, I've never been more loved and appreciated than when I tried to justify and affirm someone's mistaken beliefs, or when I tried to give my friends incorrect, absurd answers they wish to hear. But by the time the narrator had come to this conclusion, he had really become a victim to his grandfather's advice. He was allowing himself to be guided like a blind man into one trap after another and be used by all the whites.